ready to go? All right. The interior of the defensive line seems like it might get a little bit of a test, given the lack of depth and how much they run up the middle.
Yeah, that's Stanford. That's what they do. They test you up front, and so it's going to be a big challenge for our guys. And they'll practice well this week and hopefully get better. And like I said, it'll be a big challenge for us Saturday.
Will it be essentially a three-man rotation, kind of like it was last week? Or you can add another one in
Yeah,
there?
no, we'll probably be a three-man rotation. That's pretty much what we have right now. Matt Williams could get in the mix a little bit, but he'd be the fourth.
You can't obviously get bigger along both fronts, but is there a way you guys can be bigger?
Well, we've just gotta play tough. Got to use our hands. Got to play with great leverage. Get off blocks. Just do those things that are important. The thing we've done is at times this year we've been pretty effective stopping the run. We've just given up too many big plays, and so if we need to limit our big plays, get off the blocks, and we got to tackle better. I mean, that hurt us Saturday, and we got to do a better job tackling.
What did you learn from watching their tape against USC?
Well, I mean, USC played well up front. That's the strength of their defense, and thought they did a good job up front. Thought they limited Stanford's big plays for the most part and tackled well, and so we know what the formula is. We just got to do a good job of playing now.
James Grissom, I think, has only had 6 catches in the past, or four catches in the past 6 weeks. He was kind of big for you guys today.
Yeah, I know he did some good stuff today. He ran around well, made some plays, and so it's good to see him, kind of getting back out there and doing some things. His role's reduced a little bit with the emergence of Kenny and Bryce playing pretty consistently, and so it's good to see him back out there, contributing.
Do you believe in getting something positive out of the last game of the year can carry over into the next year?
Yeah, I definitely can. Yeah, I definitely can. We talked to our team about that today, just about, obviously it's the big game. It's great tradition, one of the great traditions in college football. It's important to Cal people, all over the world, and it's obviously a huge game for us, but it's also, we talked about, it's an opportunity for us to improve and get better and hopefully create some momentum and play well and play tough on Saturday, and we're hoping it'll carry over.
So much of your when you took the job and in the lead up to the season, so much was focused on this game and on Stanford and modeling maybe what you guys do a little bit after what they do, given the academic realities.
Yeah, sure. I think obviously they've got a good model going. I mean, that's if you look at Cal and Stanford's history, it's interesting. Teams have been up. Cal was up at one point. Stanford was down. Stanford's up right now. We're down a little bit, and I think we know the formula. It didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen overnight with Stanford. It's a process, and it's a painful one to go through sometimes. But you don't build programs overnight. It's just not the way it works. And so, we're going to do it the right way. And when you do it the right way, sometimes it goes slow, and it's a burdensome process. But we'll get there. And as I said, Stanford does it differently than we do it, but they do it with the same principles in mind, and that's accountability and guys doing the right things and playing hard, and so that's where we want to be.
All the weird things that have happened in this rivalry. I mean, you guys are an enormous underdog, but is that at all something you talk about with your players in rivalry games?
Yeah. I mean, it is. I mean, this is different. Typically we're kind of a play one game a week thing, but this is a different ball game. I mean, this is Cal Stanford. It's a big game. I mean, as you said, there's a lot of history and tradition in this football game, and so I think you've got to pay homage to the tradition and as you said, I mean, there's been a lot of crazy things happening, a lot of upsets in this game, and so we've talked a little bit about that with our players, and the guys are excited to go play. I mean, they know it's a different ball game. They know it's something special, and hopefully they'll go out and play that way.
It's been a tough season for a lot of guys, but for the seniors especially to go out, what kind of message do you?
Well, just to continue to do the right things. I mean, these seniors are great kids. They've been through some adversity here. The last 2 years I know have been tough. They've been through a coaching change, which is always tough as well. And I thank those guys for accepting me and my staff the way they have, and they've done everything we've asked them to do. And it hadn't always gone our way, obviously, and but they've done a great job of hanging in there and and providing some leadership and I'd love to send them out with a win. I mean, that's what you want to do. You want those guys to be able to look back on their experience at Cal and have a great experience, and nothing would be better than winning this last game.
How well do you know Coach Shaw?
Pretty well, yeah. I know him pretty well.
What was your first interaction with him like? Did he talk to you? Did you know him before you came?
Yeah, we've known each other a while back. Yeah, and not real well, but just kind of acquaintances through the years.
Did you see his TED Talk by any chance?
You know what, I did. Yeah, I did actually see it this summer, yes.
And what do you think of that just in terms of how it might relate to
a
Cal model?
I think it's remarkably similar. I mean, I think that they've been able to build that thing by having a formula and sticking with it and weathering the storm. I mean, as I said earlier, I mean, it didn't happen overnight. They didn't just flip a switch and it happened. And I think that's, you've got to build it the right way, and you've got to build it with people, and you have to build it with people that appreciate the team concept and accountability to each other. And those are all things that we're trying to teach and responsibilities that we're trying to teach. And it's part of our job is educating young people and teaching them what it's like to be something. Be a part of something bigger than themselves.
Do you believe in that recruiting model of sort of like the competitive student, the competitive
Yeah, that's the biggest thing we want to do is find people who have a passion for football. I think ultimately that's what makes really good football players is somebody who's passionate about the game. That's been my experience. It doesn't really matter how big, how strong, how fast. If you're passionate if you have passion for the game and you have a workman-like effort every single day, then those guys have always been successful. And we've won with those guys in the past.
Is it a bigger challenge just fixing what's going on the field or getting the right type of people in place that
It's
you want?
both. Yeah, it's both. I mean, it's, the results are what you see on the field. The stuff that's happening behind the scenes is what you described is building the program and building
Changing the culture.
changing the culture and exactly and building the model that you want to have and as I said, it's hard to see that.
Yeah.
When you don't come to practice and you're not around our players all the time, but we feel like positive change is taking place, and we know at some point we'll get the results on the field, and the results are the last thing that happen.
Yeah.
They just are. I mean, that's the way the football works. But we're hoping to get them Saturday.
You can see changes in the locker room.
Significant changes. Yeah, and I think if you ask our players, they'd say the same thing.
What kind of things?
Well, I think just guys doing the right things off the field.
Yeah.
Being good students, being good teammates, caring about each other. I think that there's, the culture of working together is really critical. I mean, that's what makes good teams, are guys that care about each other and will sacrifice for each other. And so, unselfishness is really important, and that's something that again is built as a culture.
How big was just getting Bigelow on track, and do you think
Good.
he can carry that momentum?
Yeah, good. I thought last week I talked to him last week, and he said he felt good, he felt comfortable, he felt faster than he has. His knee felt better than it has, and thought going in he might have a big game, and he did. And it was good to see him do that. We'd like for him to carry over and in this game as well, and hopefully as we start moving into next year and going through spring football, and we expect great things from him and still have high hopes for him.
Missing spring ball was big for him, you think?
I think so. I think so, because I think he spent a lot of. He had a limited role in fall camp because his knee was, he was coming off of a knee injury. We didn't want to put too much on him, and I think he was behind a little bit. And I think now he's starting to be more comfortable and playing better as a result.
You think there'll be a little bit of a load taken off, maybe with Lasco potentially coming back, or? I
don't know. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how effective Daniel is, how he feels, and the thing is, I thought Calfani and Bigelow both. Have improved significantly and thought they played well Saturday.
You look at that and kind of go, "Oh shucks, that was the duo." You kind of.
Yeah, it's kind of what we were hoping. Yeah, it's kind of what we were hoping to would happen a little bit sooner. But as I said, it's we see signs of some improvement and some guys starting to kind of get comfortable and perform at a higher level.
And any chance we're going to see Zach Klein at all?
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how the week goes, how he practices. And what happens on Saturday.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thanks, guys.